Buenos dias, guys. Welcome to the video. So last night we played Atlanta United 2 and we lost 3-4. It was a tough game, but we just had like 3-4 mistakes, and those 3-4 mistakes just led to 3 or 4 goals. It's like we're playing well. It's just like we just need to eliminate the stupid mistakes. Anyway, today is like a recovery day. It's Thursday. We play Saturday, so it's a really quick turnaround from last night's game. We're traveling tomorrow to San Antonio, so today is kind of like what I'm going to do to kind of recover from last night's game, how I mentally prepare, watching the game, journaling, all that kind of stuff, and then yeah, just getting ready for next weekend's game. If you guys are just here for the title, you can go ahead and skip to this time right here, but hopefully you want to stick around, enjoy the vlog for a little bit, and then we'll get into the talk about how my training has changed over the years. As you're seeing, I'm drinking a big glass of water, probably like 16 to 20, maybe even more than 20 fluid ounces of water right here. For my non-Americans, there's probably like half a liter of water. When it's so hot and humid in like South Carolina or St. Louis or Tulsa, wherever I'm playing in the midsummer, I lose anywhere from like 5 to 7 pounds of water weight per game. So after the game, it's so important to get Gatorade and water back into your system. And then even the next day, rehydrating, drinking as much water as I can to get my urine close to that clear level so that I'm ready to go for the next game. So I'll be drinking a lot of water today. Guys, I don't want you to be fooled. These Yeezy slides that I have on, I got on Amazon for $17.99. They're fake Yeezys. Feezies. Anyway, usually I'd be at training right now, but since we played last night, Wednesday night, and today's Thursday, and we have a game on Saturday, since it's such a quick turnaround, today we're just gonna go into our gym that we're a part of, and we're just gonna do a little recovery session, probably like 45 minutes, maybe even just like 30 minutes. Most likely it's gonna be some biking, some foam rolling, some stretching, and yeah, that's all we got today. So it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. I have another like hour and a half before I need to leave. This video is actually sponsored by Scentbird. Scentbird is a subscription service for cologne, perfume, skincare, makeup, and wellness products, all shipped directly to your door. They allow for both men and women to choose from over 500 designer fragrances. Instead of going to the store and spending a lot of money on one cologne that you might grow tired of, Scentbird sends out multiple smaller containers of different colognes. This is great because you end up paying less and you have more freedom to choose from different colognes, and if you don't like one, you can always get a new one the next month. In the past, I've always been that guy to buy one big bottle and I only use that scent for the entire year, maybe 2 years before it runs out, and then I switch to a new one. The last cologne that I actually bought for myself was a Versace cologne, and I love it. I actually wore it for Mimi and I's wedding and all during the honeymoon, and whenever I smell that again, it just takes me right back to those great times in my life. But the downside of doing what I do and just having one big expensive bottle is that I do kind of grow tired of that same scent over the long term. And like I said, that's why I love Scentbird so much. I mean, even this month I got 4 different colognes to choose from. The first cologne that I received is Book from Commodity. The top notes in this fragrance are eucalyptus, bergamot, cedarwood, sandalwood, and vetiver. The second cologne they sent out was Armour from English Laundry. And again, the top notes from this one are bergamot, lemon zest, rose patchouli, and warm musk. The third cologne that we got is Sage Supreme from Maison 21G Paris. The top notes in this one are herbal, woody, fresh, and green. And finally, we have Leyden from Parfum de Marly, with the top notes in this one being apple, lavender, patchouli, vanilla, and violet. So if you guys are interested in checking out Scentbird, then make sure to click the link below and use my code ELITE55 for 55% off your first month at Scentbird. In the end, that only comes out to about $8 for your first month. I also have very exciting news. Scentbird is now available in Canada. Thank you once again to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. So I'm headed downtown right now for the recovery session. I'm gonna call it right now. It's gonna be 15 minutes of biking. It's gonna be probably like 5-10 minutes of stretching, and then like 5-10 minutes of foam rolling, and then that's it. So that's my prediction. I'll let you guys know if I'm right or not.
He loves it. He loves the young kids. That's crazy.
Just finished up the recovery session. It actually went a lot longer than I expected. I think in total it went like an hour and 15. I was expecting like a 30 to 45 minute session, but it was really, really good. Here's what we did. Like, this is the entire session, everything that we did in the gym, some bike riding, some like core corrective exercises, then we did some foam rolling, and then a long 30-minute yoga session. So really good. But now I just headed back home and I'm pretty much done for the rest of the day. Like 1:15 in the afternoon right now, and I'm going to watch back the entire game from last night against Atlanta United 2. Most of the time, I'll do like 3 watch throughs of every single game. So like right after the game last night, we played Atlanta United 2, come back home, and then I always come back and I'll watch the highlights. I'll watch all the goals that Atlanta United scored. I'll watch all the goals that we scored. And then there's a few plays that I have just in my head that kind of like are replaying that I want to go watch again, whether that's a really good play for me, a highlight, and I just want to see it again for my own ego, or whether that's a really bad play and I want to see what I should have done differently, or just sometimes there's like a confusing part, like a press that we had or something that got broken down a couple times, and I want to see what I think went wrong and how I can fix it. So last night, it's literally like 15, 20 minutes where I kind of just skip around really quick throughout the game and watch the big moments. And then the second watch through is what I'm gonna do right now. And this is like the in-depth watch through the entire game. I take the full game, I download it on my computer, and then I bring it into like an editing software, and I just cut up every single one of my touches. But I'm watching the entire game, I'm pausing, I'm rewinding, and I'm really trying to analyze both of like my personal game and from the team's full performance. This is like the long in-depth review. It usually takes me like 2 hours to do all this, but then at the end I have like my 15 minutes of all of my touches. Then the third watch through of the game is when I take all of my touches that I have in my editing software, I go back to the beginning of the clip and I just watch all of my touches throughout the game. It's only 15 minutes, but I just like to see every single one of my touches and defensive plays just back to back to back. And then finally, once I've done that, then I go through the game and I have like maybe 1 or 2 highlights from every game, if it's a good game. And then I'll take those highlights, I'll export those to my desktop in like my own little folder, so that at the end of the season, I don't have to go back through the entire season to find my highlights from the entire year. If it sounds like a lot, that's because it is. It's annoying to do this, especially after losses, and it's a lot of work, but I think this is like the #1 best thing for tactical IQ and learning about your mistakes, learning what you should have done differently. Watching the games back is just so important. So I'm gonna have my smoothie, I'm gonna watch the game, do the full cut up of everything, and I also have some barbecue Lay's chips, which isn't the best, but I'm gonna eat them. All right, time for a little chat with Matt. Got my iced coffee, and now we can talk about how my training's kind of changed over my entire career. So the first stage, I'm gonna call this like my competitive recreational stage. This is from ages like 4 through 10. At this age, I wasn't trying to become a professional soccer player. I just love sports, I love being active, and I was like ultra competitive. I played basketball, baseball, soccer, and whatever season I was in of the sport, I just kind of doubled down and did extra training, working on extra with my dad, playing against my brother and my sister 1v1, playing against my friends 1v1, at recess, whenever. So at this point, I just knew I loved being active and I loved sports, and whatever I was doing at the time, I fell in love with and just trained. I just loved it. My drills that I did was just 1v1 against my brother. I did passing, like long balls with my dad, and I just shot on goal. Those were the things I did for my own individual training. Then from the ages of like 11 through 14, I'm gonna call this stage kind of like passion for the game. There was this new internet site coming up called YouTube, and on it I discovered Ronaldinho and the Brazilian national team and Joga Bonito, and I just fell in love with all of that. When I saw Ronaldinho just having fun with the ball, juggling, doing freestyle, just playing, I knew I wanted to be like him. So by this age, I had quit playing baseball. I was still playing basketball in the winter and kind of in the spring, but I had joined a club soccer team. I was playing soccer year round. I was doing the typical 2 or 3 club trainings a week, games on the weekends, tournaments in the summer, and just again doing a whole bunch of individual and partner training with my brother in our front yard, doing 1v1 little like pana sessions. We're just trying to nutmeg each other and score on like mini goals. My dad bought a big net in the front yard and we're just shooting on each other. We'd go to the field and we hit long balls and shoot on the big goal and stuff. But I wasn't really training to become a pro. I just wanted to be like Ronaldinho. It didn't like click that I was really like I could become a pro. It was more of just I love this sport and I was really developing a passion for it and I wanted to improve and get better. At this age I was really small and skinny, so I started doing some body weight training just to try to put on a little bit of muscle. I knew nothing about nutrition, I knew nothing about working out, so I just did push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups in my room like every night. Then from like ages of 15 to 18, I'm calling that stage like more training with a purpose. This was a huge learning time in my career. By this time I had quit basketball, I was solely focusing on soccer, but even now, like I wanted to become a pro, obviously. That was always the ultimate dream. But my #1 goal was to be a starting varsity player for my high school team. And then once I achieved that, then my #1 goal was to play in college and hopefully at the Division I level. I was training a ton with my high school team. I was training a ton with my club team. I was doing extra sessions again with my brother or by myself in my garage, going out to the field, working on stuff and actually doing drills now, starting to do the Ronaldinho drills, starting to dribble through cones, starting to work on my shooting and crossing and just really making my training a lot more realistic to what the game needs instead of just playing and having fun all the time. I still was having a ton of fun, but that training all had a purpose to it. At this stage too, I was learning a lot about nutrition and working out in the gym because I wanted to be a powerful, strong, fit athlete. I was learning about how much calories I needed to eat and protein and fats and carbs and the difference between a micro and a macronutrient, just really soaking up all this information on the internet to try to become the best footballer I possibly could become. I also shifted my workouts from at-home bodyweight stuff in my living room or in my bedroom to actually going to the gym and doing the big compound exercises, the bench press, the squats, the deadlifts, adding in plyometrics and really trying to work out to become bigger, stronger, and just faster. Then from the ages of like 19 to 21, that was like my pro development stage. By this time I had signed a national letter of intent to play at a Division I school, UC Davis, and my entire goal was to be a top performer at that school, in my conference, maybe even in the whole NCAA, and then to push on to the professional level via the draft. This whole time was even more focused and intense than just training with a purpose. I really think I flirted the line with pushing to my limit and almost training just harder and not smarter and really just pushing my body as far as it could go because I was so determined to become a pro. I was doing the full year-round Division I college soccer training load, which is training like 4 or 5 days a week, games on the weekends, extra fitness sessions, extra weightlifting. And then on top of that, I was doing small group sessions with my teammates who also wanted to push on to the next level. I was doing extra sessions by myself and doing extra juggling in my room and really just focusing on the technical side of the game and the physical side of the game to move on to the next level. The gym work is where I think I went overboard because in my head, more was always better. More effort, more work, more weight was better. So in the gym, I was still doing very functional movements, but it almost shifted to a bodybuilder or powerlifter type workout where the entire goal was just more weight, heavier, stronger, bigger, faster. And I think that's good to an extent, but I was working out 4 or 5 days in the gym and putting so much stress and just, it was so taxing on my body. And I think it would have been much smarter and better to work out 2 or 3 days a week in the gym and put more of that time and energy to on the ball, technical or tactical sessions to become a better footballer. But in my head at the time, everything had to be pushed to the limit. There was no such thing as doing a workout at 50%. But I feel like I've matured since then and learned. And then the next stage from ages like 22 to now, 29, almost 30 years old, this is like my pro footballer stage. And I think kind of going off that last stage, I think I've matured a lot. And I think that I'm still working out and pushing myself at the right times when my body's feeling great or I'm in off season. But majority of the time, especially in season, it's just taking care of my body, doing the maintenance workouts to keep my body working the right way, keeping my body healthy and keeping my body strong. But majority of the work is very functional. A majority of the stuff on the field is very specific to my position and to perform for that next game in the weekend or a midweek game or whatever it is. And the cool part about this whole stage from literally 22 to 29 is it's all on YouTube. I mean, if you go back to my very first YouTube videos, that's when I was 22 years old, had dropped out of college, was training with Sacramento Republic in the USL, and really trying to sign my first pro contract. So you can literally see that full stage of me as a pro footballer on YouTube. It's pretty cool. But even then, if you kind of watch the videos, you'll see that shift. Even at the beginning, the first couple of years, I still had a little bit of that grind mentality in the gym and pushing it a little bit too far, where it was going a little bit overboard, especially in that first off-season series. But as I've gotten older, I feel like I found a really, really good balance and sweet spot with that. At least in my opinion, you know. So yeah, that's my entire career up until now summed up, and hopefully I'll have at least a few more years, and it'll be interesting to see how my training or workouts or whatever shift as I enter into my 30s. But I still got a long time until then. I still got like a month and a half. So I just finished editing up the entire game from last night. I went through and watched all of my touches, my defensive plays. Honestly thought I had a really good game. And then I took 2 or 3 of my best plays from that game and exported it to my highlight folder. Now it's like 6:20 at night, and I'm gonna throw on some Armour from English Laundry, you know, my perfume from Scentbird. And then I'm gonna go out to dinner. Mimi's not here, so it's just me, but I'm thinking something fancy. Boom, Chipotle. I actually had enough points on the Chipotle app to get that burrito completely free, which is pretty cool. Just the little things in life, you know? Like I said earlier, we're actually leaving tomorrow to go to San Antonio to play San Antonio FC. It's been a crazy week. We were in Tulsa last weekend. We flew back, had like 1 day of rest, 1 day of training. Then we played Atlanta here at home. And then today is like our day of rest. And then tomorrow training at our facilities and then flying out to San Antonio. I think this is the hardest part by far, being a pro, especially in America, because the travel is just crazy. I mean, you're flying cross country to go play San Diego or LA or Colorado or wherever. And even the close trips, like San Antonio is really not that far in the grand scheme of the teams that we play, but still it's like a full day of travel there and back. But anyway, since we leave tomorrow, I need to pack up all of the stuff that I need, like the polos and the travel pants and socks and underwear and a swimsuit in case we do a little pool workout and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do that right now so I can relax for the rest of the night. I think I said that Mimi's not here, but she's back in California just with family. And I think she's gonna be there for a few weeks. So it's just me and the cats. And whenever that happens, whenever Mimi's gone, I always just kind of throw myself into Become Elite work. Like I work so much on the computer, and then I watch little Star Wars and nerdy sci-fi stuff and stuff that Mimi doesn't like on TV and movies and stuff. So I think I'm done working for the night. I am going to start the Kenobi series. Speaking of watching Star Wars, I've heard good things about it, so I'm going to start that on Disney Plus tonight. And then, like I said, tomorrow, leaving for San Antonio. So hope you guys liked this video. I hope this was good insight into just seeing what like a quick turnaround looks like from a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 games in 8 days. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys, peace.